Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another program of Prime Time. I'm your host, Beverly. Well, today is going to be a very special program. It's a program of miracles, and we have someone here in our studio who has a very special and interesting story to share. So you would like to hear all about it? Stick around and we'll be right back. For This is Prime Time.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're fully covered after an accident, the security of your home and everything in it that means so much to you. And knowing that even when the weather does its worst, you and your family are covered. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.
Welcome back. As I mentioned in my opening, today's program is going to be a special one. We're talking about miracles. She wrote a book, The Miracle of True Love, and she actually experienced a miracle in her life after a serious bout of cancer. Today we have Amee Salas. She's from Curacao. She's visiting, and we thought it would be a nice idea if she will chat with us a little bit about her experiences and the miracle that she's experienced. So Amee, thank you very much for joining me on the program.
Thank you very much for having me in your program.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
So so Amee, you have a big story to tell. And so how far back are we going?
Well, I have to say in the year 1998, I was a very healthy lady. After giving birth to my baby, I started to feel like numbness in my body, like paralyzation. And after a lot of tests with the doctors, they told me I have a very big tumor in my spinal cord, by my brainstem, by the breathing area, and that it was killing me. And what the doctor told me back then was that medicine is not possible, chemo is not possible, radiotherapy is not possible, and surgery is not possible either, because if they do surgery, I will die anyway.
So that was a bleak picture.
Yes.
How did you receive such bad? Because we have so afraid when we go to the doctor to hear the news, and that was horrible news.
It was horrible news, and the way he said it too.
Yeah.
And I asked the doctor, so what is going to happen? And he said, well, you're going to die, and you're going to die soon, but before you die, you will become paralyzed from head to toe. So I was so mad at the doctor. I have to say that back then I didn't know Jesus in my life. So I used to be a model. My outer appearance was so important to me, and suddenly I had to cut my hair. I always had long hair. I had to cut my hair very, very short because I wasn't able to lift my arms to even comb my hair. So I started to see that my outer appearance was being touched. Yes. And my mom used to tell me, Amee, the only solution to your problem is Jesus. And back then I said, I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to cure myself with all types of herbs, alternative medicines. And I did it, but it didn't work. Anyway, I started to prepare for that. I'm the only child of my mom. It was my mom, me, and my child. And I told my mom, you have to take care of my daughter. She was a baby. And she said, okay. But then after a couple of months that I didn't want to invite Jesus into my life, God put another trial. And my mom got a brain tumor. So then she had to have surgery. And the doctor told me, your mom can have surgery, but she can die during surgery because
So
she
this
has
was only bad news
only
all
bad-
around.
Yes, and when they told me about my mom's brain tumor, it was like my world was falling apart. But not even that made me change.
So when was the breaking point when you decided, hey, I think I need to give my life to Jesus?
Then my mom again told me, I said, I don't need Jesus. We went through it, and my mom came back to the house in January of the year 2000, and then I felt like I was really dying. My body was really shutting down. And in March one day, it was March 10th, I remember I woke up and I realized, hey, I don't want to die. I just don't want to die. And I told my mom, today I'm going to church with you. So my mom was so happy. And I gave my life to Jesus. I said, Lord, forgive me for not giving you your place. And I need a miracle. I need you to heal me. And when you heal me, I will start working for you for the rest of my life. And I felt like a peace coming over me. I felt like God was saying, it's going to be okay. I didn't know what he was going to do, but I felt like it was something good because it was a peace that I've never felt before.
That surpassed all understanding.
I've surpassed all understanding. So I went home, and 3 weeks after that, I got a hospital in Houston, Texas, where the doctor told me the only option is surgery. I had to go to Houston for them to do a scan themselves. And they told me that my surgery is possible, but I have to know that I have 80% chance to die during the surgery. So it's not something you want to hear. Then he said, if you don't die, you can become quadriplegic, ventilator dependent for the rest of your life. I said, okay, is there another chance? And he said, yes, there's a chance that if we can get the tumor out completely, you can be healed. But that chance is like this, very slim, like 1%. And he said, do you still want to do surgery? Because if you don't do surgery, you will have 3 to 6 months to live. And I said, yes, doctor, I can feel it in my body, but I am going through with surgery. Why? Because God has opened so many doors for me to get to Houston, and not only to a hospital. I got to the best hospital, the cancer hospital in the world. So God took care of even that, and God opened doors. So I don't think God is going to let me die or to stay paralyzed coming all the way to Houston. So I had surgery. And he told me before surgery, he told me, after surgery, if you survive surgery, you won't be able to move or to walk for a very long time. And I moved. When I woke up, I moved the same day. All the doctors around my bed, they were like confused, lifting my legs and so. And but my left arm was dead. I said, where is my hand? And they put my hand on my belly. I said, oh God, thank you. I only lost my left arm, but everything else is working because they told me I can become quadriplegic or die. So after all the doctors left, and this is the beautiful part of it, the anesthesiologist, normally you go to the anesthesiologist before surgery.
Right.
He came to me and he said, Amee, I had to come to tell you something. Normally I don't visit my patients after surgery, but I had to come to tell you this. I said, what happened? He said, a miracle happened during surgery because there was no way you could have survived that surgery. And you stayed stable 12 hours long. You didn't lose blood, and the ventilator we have inserted for you to breathe, we didn't have to use it because you kept breathing on your own the whole procedure. And they were operating by my breathing area. So for me, God has sent this doctor just to tell me, just to confirm to me that he was the one doing the surgery.
Okay, we'll take a break, Amee, and when we come back, we'll talk about your road to recovery and lots more, and the writing of the book, what involved and what motivated you to do this. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. This is Prime Time.
A cruise is a great adventure, not only for passengers, also for us. The Port of St. Martin. our port always reflected the needs and aspirations of the time. From the first to the 1.75 millionth passenger in 2013. Our cruise story started in 1963 with our first cruise passenger. 50 great years later, 20 million passengers later, thousands of cruise berths later, we've become the leading port in the Caribbean. 50 fantastic years. Like a dream. The dream of Port St. Martin lives on and reinvents itself every day. The best is yet to come.
Travel Planners, an award-winning agency on St. Martin with a well-trained, knowledgeable and friendly staff dedicated to making your travel arrangements hassle-free. We can book your airline, car, cruise and hotel reservations to anywhere in the world. Visit our offices or log on to our website and take advantage of our special packages to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Travel Planners, voted best travel agency on St. Martin.
Back and thank you very much for joining us. This is Prime Time and today we are talking about miracles, miracles that Amee experienced and is here 15 or 16 years later to tell it. And so Amee, talk about your road to recovery.
The road to recovery was very hard. It was a tough road. I have to say that after surgery, 4 days after surgery, the doctor told me I can go to the regular room because I was recovering beyond their expectations. But I had to go to rehab. And the 5th day I walked against all odds. I walked, so when the surgeon saw me walking, he said, "Amee, you can walk. You can walk. This is unbelievable." And yes, for me, I told him, "I told you, doctor, I asked God for a miracle." But he doesn't believe in God. But for me, it wasn't important. Important was that he knows what happened. And I had to go to rehab. It was, I became like a baby. I had to learn how to walk again, how to use my hands, how to use everything. And it was tough. But for me, God was molding me. He was molding me through this trial. Why? Because I had to learn to depend on Him completely. I became very ugly. My outer appearance changed completely. And God showed me that it's not the outer appearance that matters. It's the inner you. It's the inside. And I started to feel so beautiful from the inside. And God was dealing with me from the inside.
So who's helping you out while you're in Houston? Family?
My aunt and my dad went with me.
Came over?
Yes,
So you had some family around.
I had family around.
And so how long you stayed in Houston?
They told me in the beginning that it would be for 3 months, but I stayed for 3 weeks.
And you were back in Curacao after that?
After 3 weeks. So, but it was a nice experience because when I was there, I could encourage patients, I could encourage family of the patients, and my aunt used to tell me, "Hey, I thought we are here in the States, you won't get visitors." But my room was full of visitors because of family of the patients.
Who coming to look for you?
Coming to look for me because they were calling me the patient with a beautiful smile, and they were asking me, "How come you are so happy and you are so sick?" And I was telling them that Jesus in me was shining through me, and I always had a smile on my face.
There was your testimony.
That was my testimony.
And so you got back home after you said 3 weeks. And when did you start? Let me ask you. So you came back to Curacao and you're telling people that God healed you. What are people's reaction to you?
Yes.
And to that news?
I have to say, before coming back to Curacao, the doctor told me they got the results from the tumor. And it happened to be that I have a very peculiar tumor, cancer.
Yes.
and they had to scan me out, and they found like tumors in both eyes, in my kidneys, pancreas, but
Tumors all over.
tumors all over. But God was dealing with me. God was molding me, and I have to say, God could have done an instant miracle because He is God.
Yeah.
But I thank Him that He chose this process, because if I would have got that miracle instantly, I would have got back to the world instantly. So this process made me grow closer to God. I had to learn to trust Him and depend on Him. So for me, it was a trial that made me stronger, because trials are not here to make you weaker.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They make us stronger.
So I'm anxious to know what were people's reactions when you came back to Curacao and they're saying, Amee, this is not what we thought, and you said to them, well, God healed me.
Yes, you know, the most important one was from my doctor, my neurologist. He didn't want me to go to the States because he told me, don't go there because nobody can do anything for you. And I said, I am going because I have the right to know if they can do something. And he told someone, she will come back, but she will come back as afraid. So he didn't expect me to come back. And I said, okay. He said, you will be a number in the States. I called him. When I got to Curacao, I called him. I said, doctor, I am back. He said, what? Did you have surgery? I said, yes. Are you walking? I said, yes. I said, doctor, you were right. I was indeed a number, but I was number one. And he was like, I want to see you. I said, no, doctor. And then I changed to another doctor. But he was like, he couldn't believe that I came back and that I was doing all those things. And the first thing I did, I went to the hospital, started to counsel cancer patients, encouraging them. And I felt like finally my life made sense. It was my calling. So
the book, The Miracle of True Love.
The Miracle of True Love.
Are we going to fast forward a little bit here? Yes?
Yes, it is a book that in 2004 God instructed me to write. He said, Amee, you're going to write a book. I said, no, God, I'm not going to write because I'm not good in writing. At school I was very bad in writing. And he said, you're not going to write it. I am going to write it through you. And I said, God, you know, if it's indeed your book, you have to give me the title, and if you give me the title, I will start writing, because I didn't want it to be just another book, just another story. I wanted it to be His book. So one day at work, it was a very busy day. I was working, but I couldn't concentrate, and I kept hearing The Miracle of True Love, The Miracle of True Love. The third time, I wrote it down. I said, oh my God, it's the title for the book. I went on the internet. I said, God, if it's yours, it could not exist. Went on the internet, didn't exist.
No book called
No
The
book,
Miracle of True Love.
nothing called The Miracle of True Love. And then I had to start writing. And since then, God has been inspiring me every day. He inspired this book. He started with this book from the title till the publishing. How He put editors on my path. Publisher, I just asked him, hey God, this is your book. I don't have the money to do all those things. And He kept providing. He kept providing, because where God guides, He provides.
Wow, and you went on my childhood years and the miracle surgery. Yeah, and then it says that you had a second big surgery. We talked about that.
Yes, there's a lot of love. It's a whole story, but it's so long, but everything is in the book.
Resisting temptation. Okay, when we take a break, we talk about resisting temptation and where your life is today. I'm curious to hear, and I'm sure our viewers are. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. This is Prime Time.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
For local news, regional and international news, do read the Daily Herald. This interview with Amee and the miracle of true love really is a fascinating story. At times it seems unbelievable, but as you listen to Amee's walk through her experience with God's guidance, you can't but admit that this is really a miracle, the miracle of true love. And so, Amee, we were talking about resisting temptations. But before that, really tell our viewers, because you had to go back to Houston again a couple of months after.
Yes, in May I had my first surgery, and in August I started to feel like numbness in my legs again. Went to do a scan, and it happened that I had 2 more tumors in my spinal cord. So in November of that same year, I had to go back to Houston for the second surgery. But I have to say that every time I went to Houston, God opened doors for me to testify in churches, in places, in the hospital. So God has opened so many doors. And
Amee, how did you pay for all of this? Is it insurance?
Insurance paid only for my hospital expenses and my ticket, and everything else I had to pay myself. But in the book you can read also how God opened doors for me to get a family there where I could stay afterwards. I mean, God is good, and I have to say it's because of obedience. I'm sure that God started to open doors, because before going to surgery I said, God, I don't want anything, sin, to be in the way. I had to cut loose of all sins in my life. I was with the father of my baby, and God showed me, it's fornication, you have to stop with it. So I had to cut loose of a lot of things. I said, God, I want to see your glory. I want to see your miracle, and I don't want anything to stand in the way. And I obeyed God in everything.
Was that the resisting temptations?
That was resisting temptations also, and afterwards too. So I think we always want God's promises, but we don't want His conditions. So I think we have to start fearing the Lord by obeying Him and cut loose of those sins, comply with the conditions, so we can claim His promises.
And so is that the road that you're on right now?
That's the road I kept from the beginning, and I'm still living.
So tell me about your life today.
My life today, I'm encouraging cancer patients. That is something I love to do. My daughter, when I went for the first time, she was only 3 years. Now she's 18. She's a grown-up, and I can see God work in her life too. And I'm so happy that I got to know God, because I could give her an example of how to live holy.
Get God's blessing. And so tell me, are you cancer-free?
I'm cancer-free. I'm cancer-free, and God didn't promise us everything would be okay, but He promised us that He would be there for us, with us, through those storms. And there's a lot of trials I've encountered along the way, but I wasn't afraid. I didn't complain, because I knew God was in control of everything.
Amee, is it difficult because to be in the human form, is it difficult to hold on to that spiritual part of with God? And God says it, but I'm getting pain here, I'm getting pain there, I'm not able to use my left hand. How do you handle the doubts that come?
I think when you come to know Jesus very personally, and you obey Him in everything, and you see His hands working on your behalf, how can you stop doing it? And I think it's easy if you follow the manual. It's the Bible. If you follow it like God says us to follow it, then you will see how easy it is. Temptations will come, but if you know what your purpose is, what God called you to do, and you don't want to miss the boat, you just keep obeying the Lord. And you will see blessings and blessings and blessings.
And so your trip to St. Martin was sharing that miracle story?
My trip to St. Martin is sharing that story. I have to thank my pastors back home, Pastor Desmond Ford and his wife, for giving me the opportunity to start with this, and Pastor Pearl. And sharing, all the books were sold out.
Oh, you had to send for more books?
We had to send for more books, and we only have a few left.
Why were you chosen?
I don't think I was chosen because I am special. I think God chooses his people because he is God. I don't think God healed me because I am special. I think all of us are special, but I think maybe I obeyed God. I walked in his purpose. I wanted so much to live holy for him, so I could be an example to others, to lead them to that holy life, so they can also be saved.
And so your life today is, could you complete that? My life today is?
My life today, I can say that I am a very happy woman. I'm blessed to be working for the Lord, and I have to say I've just went to a tough trial just 1 month ago. My mom went to be with the Lord, but she knew about the trip. She was so happy for me about this. So you cannot stop working for the Lord even when you go to trials. I mean, God gives
you the grace and the courage. Okay, Amee, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us on the program. And I know that we really had to cut the interview short because there's so much that you have to share. And so if you get your hand on The Miracle of True Love, it's a book I think that you should read. It's full of encouragement, and you can see Amee is a testimony for it, going through cancer and being here 15 to 16 years later to talk about it. And so we wish you all God's blessings, and thanks so much for being on the program with us to share your special story.
Thank you so much for having me, and God bless you all.
And so thank you, Amee. This is Prime Time, and we share The Miracle of True Love. Thank you so much for your continued support. See you next week, and may God bless you.